Welcome, Aquarius. This reading is going to make you feel good. This is one of my favorite readings for you of all the year. Welcome, Aquarius. I've decided to use the Cozy Witch Tarot deck, which I don't use very often, but for some reason, it's calling out. So can we have an accurate reading for Aquarius, please? Can we have an accurate, we're going to do 2 more hard and then 4 soft. 1 hard and 4 soft. Okay, in 4, for Aquarius, please, what is the present moment situation? And 2 more. What is the situation at the present moment for Aquarius, please? What is the situation? Okay, so 3 came out. So we have the 8 of Wands, which is Mercury in Sagittarius. Page of Swords, which is associated with Aquarius. And the Queen of Pentacles, which is Cardinal Earth. Technically, it's associated with Capricorn. Okay. So I asked what the current situation is. All right, so this, I believe, has to do, this first split, I believe, has to do with your career. Something is about to take off very quickly. That's the energy from this card. The energy from the Page of Swords in this deck. This has to do with somebody who is extremely good at writing. There's almost a magical element to what this person can do with words and their mind. I'm seeing somebody who is about to write something. This could be a book, a script. It certainly has to do with communication in it, because this is all about communication. It's Mercury in Sagittarius. You could have a blog, or there is something about you, your ideas, magical ideas, inquisitive mind. There's an aspiring author here. Something is picking up and about to take off. And over here, we have a Queen of Pentacles, and the message in this deck is there's no need to sacrifice. You can have it all. And the Queen of Pentacles in this deck is said to be someone who she's not working longer, or she's not working harder. She's working smarter, technically, which means she's doing something she really loves to do. She might, only go in and whatever she's about to do. Clearly there's some kind of home office here. You may have an office outside of your home, but there's a strong suggestion here that you can have it all. You don't have to sacrifice, meaning you don't have to do this 9 to 5 or 9 to 9 or 8 to 8 or 6 to whatever. Maybe your workday is longer than that. Something that you are creating here, it has to do with communication, is about to take off. Okay? All right, let's keep going. For some of you, make sure, I would suggest buying a lottery ticket now in the next 48 hours. Because for some of you, you're going to, there's a win. There's some kind of a financial gain here. And it could have to do with something that's happening quickly. The 8 of Wands is also a card of victory. All right. All right, let's keep going. Show me more, please, for Aquarius. Show me more. Wow, yeah. I mean, we've got the idea here in the Page of Wands in this deck is somebody who is doing something that they are passionate about. The message we've got 2 pages here. You know, all pages herald change, new cycles beginning. In this change, and actually the Page of Swords are the ultimate change. A sword, it brings in a truth, a change, a fresh approach, ideas, thoughts. There's an idea here of doing something that involves intellect, creativity, the mind, and it's like you're in your dharma here. It's what you were meant to do. As you can see, it's more than just intellect, it's also creative. All right, there's a strong message here. There may be a project that you started and didn't finish, something that it could very well be a writing project. There's something that you began and somehow you just didn't, for some reason, it could be because you were interested in doing so many things, you might have your attention may have been diverted. So we have here this idea of, your intellect being a form of magic. Right next to this, again, this Page of Wands, just because you're passionate about it doesn't mean it will be effortless. In this deck, this combination of cards would suggest that something that you have started, and I don't care when you started this, it could have been years ago, there is a strong suggestion to finish it because it's magic. It is, and you might think, well, it's a bit of a drag. I'm bored of that now. Again, just because you're passionate about it doesn't mean it will be effortless. Just because you feel like, it's going to take a bit of work, that does not mean that you're not meant to do it. Everything, even things that we absolutely love to do, require some work. But the reason why work is required here is because this is something that is going to take off. Finish it, okay? Even if you don't think it's any good, finish it. Yeah, just before I go on to the next split, what I'm getting is there's something that could go to waste if you don't finish it. There was something that you began, it had that spark, that passion in it. It's valuable. You might be bored of the idea by now. You might not think that it's any good. It is full of innovation and passion. And Spirit doesn't want you to let this go to waste. So now after this reading, you're going to have to sit down and remember all the projects that you started, because for some of you, there could be 4 or 5. Finish them all. Because one of these projects, it's going to take off in a huge way. All right? All right, show me more, please. This is really interesting. Show me more, please, for Aquarius. I felt like there was another card trying to come out there. Oh, yeah, I can see where this is going. I can see where this is going. Guys and gals, we have another page. But we have the ultimate page of something that's headed toward a mastery. We've got the Page of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah, just to further what I've just said, have a look at the message in the Page of Pentacles here. Remember that the Page of Pentacles is, even though it looks like it, in the regular deck, it's just one pentacle. but it goes to the 10 of Pentacles. That's where it will go. The Page of Pentacles, just have a look at the picture. Here's the message. When life gives you lemons, make enchanted lemonade. So again, this has to do with your abilities here. There's something that you may think, you may have started it, you may think that it's not much, but it is literally, do you see the stars that are twinkling around at what you started something and it is enchanted. All right? Look at the light there. Something that you began. Something that you began. There is, so expect the unexpected here. Anything can happen from here. There's financial gain there. It's not just, there's something that you started and you started it. This was an innovative idea, something that you know, maybe you just wrote 3 or 4 pages. Maybe you started a book or something. There's something that you started. And it's got this it's going to take off. It's just a matter of disciplining yourself to finish it. Now, look, if this has been something that you've been wanting to do, it's time here. Because one of the messages in this card is that person may be thinking, well, she's set up a lemonade stand. So it's a very, very, it's basically a business that's starting. Although you might be thinking, well, I don't have enough to, I need to wait till I get more so I can, build my business. No, it doesn't matter how, little you have the building blocks here. There's something that you literally do not need anything else. You already have what you need to go from here. You've got your innovation, your ideas. It's what you're putting into. I mean, look, when life gives you lemons, make enchanted lemonade. You don't just make lemonade. There's the elixir here. This is high quality, potent stuff. Okay, let's keep going. By the way, the other thing too, there is, if I haven't said it already, there are so many pages here. We've got the Page of Swords, the Page of Wands, the Page of Pentacles. Shame on me for not saying this earlier. There, for many of you, there is definitely a message or messages coming in. So check. Make sure you keep an eye on your text, your email, your phone, whatever, keep checking, check your spam box. Keep an eye on your messages because there's good news coming in, okay? Show me more, please. It's right here. Wow. Sorry about the dogs out there. They're all howling. So there's 2 very strong messages that I'm getting from this split. Number one, if you're about to move on from something, before you do, whether it's a relationship, a project, a job, whatever, before you walk away, give it one last shot, but just one. And then after you've given it one last shot, if you're still not happy with the results, if you're not happy with where you are right now, don't hesitate to move forward. It's okay to throw in the towel. There are some artists, people who sculpt, for example, with chisels. It's very difficult, from what I have learned from others, for some artists, if, you know, they may be working on something for 2 or 3 years, and there's something that they just can't get right about it. And many artists are hesitant to, you know, throw in the towel, walk away, throw down the hatchet. And I'm not sure why, but I think it's the same reason that people are hesitant to walk away from a love situation, because, not because of fear, but because they cannot figure out why something isn't working. It's this, you know, now that it's a noble, you know, intention. It's great to put some effort into trying to analyze why something isn't working. However, you know, there are some things. There's a little saying that my grandmother used to say: for every problem under the sun, there is a solution, or there is none. If there be one, go and find it. If there be none, never mind it. In other words, as long as you've put in a reasonable effort, you know, and you've made some effort to, you know, figure out why something didn't work. I don't even think, you know, I do think it's worth it to make a, you know, a moderate effort to find out, you know, to try to look at why something did not work out. That's quite wise. However, some of you may be putting in a huge amount of effort into trying to sort out why this didn't work, and that involves the very best of intentions. A, you don't want to make the error again. B, you may want to figure out if it's your fault, the other person's fault. It's a wonderful, noble. These are good intentions. However, what you need to know is, once you've done that, you made a reasonable effort to, you know, sort out, you know, whether or not you're happy. If you're not happy, the bottom line is you're not happy. You know, what is the worst that could happen if you moved on? The worst that could happen is you don't get happy. Well, you haven't lost anything. You weren't happy in the beginning. So, and by the way, with the Eight of Cups, you can always return. So that, you know, under this card, the quote is, if your life feels stale, explore some new scenery. Okay? Now, but this idea of giving it one last shot, do you see this back here, what you started somewhere? And by the way, this could be this one last shot. If this is some project or some idea, you know, maybe it was just an idea, and maybe just thought about it. But before you move on from something, give this one last shot. All right? Okay. There's one other thing that I'm seeing here. If this is a love reading, if somebody walked away from you, they literally had no idea of the potential of this union. Anyway, that's just an aside, all right? Because what's over here is a seed that is going to create something, some kind of masterpiece, all right? Show me more, please. For Aquarius. Oh, it's all the way over here. Okay. Another page, I'm telling you. Page. These are cycles. This is change. I think we've had the Page of Pentacles. We've had the Page of Swords, the Page of Wands, and now we've got the Page of Cups. We've just had 4 pages in your reading. These pages are all, it's all about change, and new cycles. And this is amazing. It could very well involve you walking away. There's an idea here of do not fear moving on, all right? Okay, now, this is incredible. In this deck, the Page of Cups is all about a new journey, and it can be an emotional journey, a new venture. All of the pages in this deck herald good change. In the Page of Cups in this deck, it has to do with something unexpected. The quote is, let yourself be continually surprised by this thing called life. So there is something unexpected coming in. If you want to know what that person is doing, by the way, what she's collected, she was looking for sea glass, okay? So it's very unusual. It technically is glass from bottles and sometimes even shipwrecks that has rolled around in the sea for years and years and years, and it ends up having this. The edges have been smoothed out because of just I guess corrosion or whatever happens to glass when it rolls around in this salt water, and it can be used. She may be using this to create jewelry or something, but she's doing something creative with it. But there's something. Notice how this woman is sort of heading toward the ocean. So it's almost like wherever you go, there's something, that you do something creative with. But with this walk away and this move on, there's a new venture, a new beginning. It could be a new beginning in love, a new journey, but it's a new journey. And there's something very unexpected about it. It could be a new romance, but it has to do with a new venture, all right? And something very unexpected. And it's awesome. It's something absolutely awesome. Okay. All right, show me more. Please could be dealing with. I should have. There's 2 cards of Pisces there. We've also had Sag. Sag. Now we've got Virgo, by the way. Wow. Just have a look at this. Some of you might do pendulum work, and solitary witch. Okay, so the quote in the Hermit card here says, there are some things that must be done on your own. Have a look at what this person is doing. There are some things that must be done on your own. Strong message in this card. First of all, this person is using a pendulum, and many times the pendulum is used for a yes or a no. And some of you are incredibly good at this. So I'm thinking of Shaylee, if you're listening anyway. Right here, the message in this card is that what this person is doing, and some of you may use a pendulum, some of you may use tarot cards, some of you may just need to sit down. I'm going to speak about those books in a moment, and I am giving you the interpretation that the author of this deck wrote about, all right? Because I completely agree with her. She is making a decision. It's a yes or a no. She is not asking other people. She is in contact with her higher self or spirit, God, because she's that, and that gives her her true answer. All right, she could be looking for a truth about something. Now, there's a couple of other points that the author of this deck wanted to make about this. It's very much connected with this change, this new journey over here. All right. The author of this deck spoke when she was talking about this card about when you give other people unlimited access to you, there is very little soul searching or introspection that can be done. These books here have important information in them. Like the books that I'm always nagging. I realize I am a nagging nanny. I am a nag. I know that. But someday you'll like me for it. One of the books that I think is essential for everyone. It's a book that was written a very long time ago. The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. There is so much wisdom in that book. It's a very digestible read. It's a pleasant read, and it is the weight that will be taken off you by simply reading that book. You won't need to come back and ask for a tarot reading from me. I'll never hear from you again. But but I'm begging you guys constantly begging you to read that book. And you have, mark my words, you will be absolutely shocked at how it will bring peace, and you'll be able to enjoy life. You won't be uncertain. Now, there are other books that I think are incredibly important. For example, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Problem with a lot of these books, by the way, is that the titles are very misleading. You would think that Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway is all about, go skydiving or something. It's not, absolutely, totally not what that's about. That book is another book that will free another, 30 pounds taken off your shoulders, literally. It's because it's very, very, it's information that is aligned with spirit. That's all I'm going to say about that. So when you are around other people, any people, even people that are good people, there is zero chance to actually connect with the divine. Zero chance to expand your mind unless you're sitting there with Deepak Chopra or something. And even then, this knowledge, the work, expanding one's mind, all of the information you need is out there. It's there. It's probably sitting in a book at chapters. It's there. And nobody. Well, I know a lot of you are. But, this person is going to make a very good decision. And she's not going to be uncertain about it. She's probably already made the decision and she's just looking for confirmation there. I'm just going to read a quote from Amanda Lovelace, okay? Regarding, I just got to find the right quote, regarding this very card, just in case you don't believe me. I'm just going to read it exactly, the first paragraph, exactly what she said. Here we have a witch. By the way, they're all witches, right? In a good way. Who has recently discovered the power of the pendulum, a divination tool not unlike tarot that gives them all the answers they could ever want or need. Here's what else they've discovered. All those answers actually come from within. Now, I am going to stop right there and say something. She doesn't mean to say that the answers, that there was no need to do this. There is. But the reason why, when she says come from within, there's your higher self. The real knowledge, the real wisdom, which is not, it's something that you arrive at, and it literally, the truth is within you. You just have to, connect with it. Anyway, let me just keep going. Quote, I don't need someone else to give me all the answers. And newsflash, neither do you. You're also being guided to limit other people's unlimited access to you so you can do a little soul searching and introspection. If you're unsure how to proceed on your journey, then try reading books on interesting spiritual topics. See if they can open your mind to ideas you've never considered. Now, I just thought of one more book. The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. That'll get you interested. That's a cool title. That title is actually, I believe, even though he's never admitted this, I believe that book is autobiographical. In fact, in other words, I think he's the one. It is absolutely, in those 3 books that I've just mentioned, just those 3 books, those are 3 authors who have, already done a lot of searching. Robin Sharma, for example, I think it was a full year, the quote unquote main character in the book, what happened was he was a lawyer, and one day he had a heart attack right in the middle of court because he was overeating and over drinking and, having these huge fancy dinners late at night. He was overdoing it, and he also wasn't enjoying himself in court. He wasn't enjoying it. It was, anyway, so he began to get very stressed, and he literally, right in the middle of court, had a heart attack. And I found that part of the book, I almost cried, because the way that it was described, there is no way that it didn't happen. There's the scene where the legal secretary is leaning over him, and she's in a panic. And there's, it's just, it's really, you really feel sorry for him and, hope that he'll live. Well, he did. But what he did, actually, I'm not going to tell you, you have to buy that or download it on Audible or something. The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. That book alone may sum up everything. Okay? I'm not saying that it will, but if you're going to read something, read that one. Okay, I'm going to stop lecturing. Let's keep going. Oh, the other thing I was going to mention, this is just for some of you, all right? If you don't like what I'm about to say, it's not for you, okay? It's not your message, but for some of you, it is your message. Some of you are going to be making a choice, and both paths are correct, by the way. In this lifetime, you may, this person here, for some of you, I think it's only a few, this person is probably about 50 or 60 years old, somewhere around there. This person has a mission. It's now time for them to begin this mission. It's for spirit. This person has faced a lot of difficulties and suffering. The mission that they are facing is so important. It is a solo mission. So that you can't do this half-assed. In other words, if you're going to do it, you've got to fly solo. Do you know why? Because people, it is so important what you're doing there. You cannot be distracted or taxed, energy-wise in any way. Let me read it again. The Hermit. So for those of you who, if you don't like the sound of what I just said, it's not your message. All right. So in other words, you have to, there could be a love, you're choosing between a new love journey over here. This is a spiritual mission, and it's serious. You have knowledge here. You're in the Hermit. The Hermit has been I was about to talk about the monks in the Himalayas, but has been has learned every single spiritual lesson. But the Hermit, the thing about the Hermit, the knowledge that the Hermit has the knowledge. Well, okay, the Hermit it has all of the knowledge of spirit, okay? All of the wisdom of spirit, which is true knowledge, which it cannot be taught in school, or you don't get it from books or degrees or anything. There are books, yes, with information in it, but she has selected certain books. There's only a couple of books here, and notice how they look so old. And her phone is there, so she's probably doing a little bit of Googling. She went into chapters, probably into the self-help section. Some of these might be medical books or science books, but she selected certain books because they piqued her interest or was what she needed to look at that time. And the knowledge in these books is ancient. It's like what Norman Vincent Peale has shared in The Power of Positive Thinking. It's like what Robin Sharma has shared in The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. It is ancient knowledge. And so this here is very, very highly valuable knowledge. So while there are books there, yes, those books were not recommended by her university or her school. These are books that she went out and sought out and chose on her own. And she has knowledge to share. The Hermit comes down from the mountain and has wisdom to share for those, who are ready for it. This person here has a massive amount of valuable, godly wisdom to share, true wisdom. So this is a solo mission. I have no idea what Spirit has in store for that person, but that person has to fly solo, okay? And so you don't have to do it. It's just a choice. Yes, no. It's the thing about spiritual missions. The only real thing that you have to do in life is don't hurt anyone. Try not to disturb anybody's peace and strive to find peace on your own. If you're doing that, it doesn't matter. You can pass up any spiritual mission at any time. The thing is, it has to be your choice. All right. So both paths are correct here. Let's keep going. Sorry, you guys, I can't get a short reading for you guys because it's always, packed full. Cool stuff. Yep. Wow. Have a look at this. So there's the card that we talked about. Let me just, before I explain what's in this card, have a look at her facial expression. There's her computer. And here's the quote: "Stop overthinking and just do it." I got to put my glasses on. I think that's what it says. Now, let's talk about this card. I mean, this could be finishing your book or whatever. But anyway, you could be, this person, notice how there's 2 teacups there. She could be thinking about 2 people. So what she might be doing is turning somebody down, and saying, I've decided to do such and such. Or, anyway, let's talk about, so we've got Jupiter in Gemini and we've got Virgo energy. So for some of you, there's a couple of things that could be going on here. For some of you, there could be something that, it could be something like a deadline, something that you could be preparing for a test or something, or some application that you're supposed to get in, something. And you could be, maybe you put it off a little bit, and the clock is ticking and you're dreading, you're stressing, oh my God, I'll never get this done. So the advice here is allow yourself to just do the best you can. I call it the shoot for a 60. In tests, where a perfect score would be 100, and a lot of you, it would be a horror to get a 60. You're used to everything being in the 90s or 80s or 90s. What that person has to do, because your standards are so high, you want to be totally, prepared, is that, look, just shoot for a 60. Just do the best you can. And in fact, don't even do the best you can, because when we say do the best you can, no. Actually, what that means is just give it your best shot at this point, and let go of the worry. The dread here, there's always a way of figuring out. I remember one of you, I won't name her because, so she had this extremely important, it was a very, serious, she was being recertified for something very, serious and professional. And she was telling me she was stressed out because the exam is on site. She's running out of time. And I said to her, well, when is the exam? And I think we were talking on a Wednesday. And she said, it's Saturday. And I said, you have tons of time. And she was almost shocked. And then I did this huge confession on the number of times that I'm just being honest. I have actually procrastinated to the point where I had to pull off 2 all-nighters right in a row in order to, to hope for a pass. That's how behind I was. So, but the point is here, look, if you're going to show up for the exam, if you can't cancel it or drop the course or whatever, look, just sit down and look at the amount of material that you have to do. And just figure out, okay, can I, if I started now, if I do so many hours here, so many hours there, can this reasonably be done? Yes, it can. Well, just do it, and shoot for a 60. Don't hold yourself to this attainable standard. And ironically, you may find that you do very well. Okay, now, so that's just for some of you. For others, this is simply, you see what's going on here. This could be a comparison about how decisions are being made here. Is this person distracted in any way by overthinking? Should I, shouldn't I, will I, oh my God, is this going to be? Do I have to worry about da-da-da-da? No. Over here, in the 8 of Swords, the logical mind is running the show. And it's actually a part of the brain that has nothing to do. This person is using their hippocampus and their amygdala. The right side of their brain is very active. This person is using their prefrontal cortex, a bunch of, robot parts of the brain that that analyze incoming information from the, ever, credible five senses, which don't give us very much information about what's really there. So the logic is running the show here. It's having a party. It's having a big frigging party in her head. The logical mind has completely shut down the amygdala and the hippocampus over here. So the logical mind is telling her, nobody ever does this. Nobody ever pushes things off to this point. This is ridiculous. How could I have done this? This is impossible. I'll never get this done. Dread, anxiety, which in fact, do you know what writer's block is? It's confusion. I believe, anyway, that writer's block is caused by this dread. I'll never get this done. How on earth can the creative part of the mind even light up? It's not over here. The logic has, literally disconnected, pulled the cord on the the parts of the brain that are creative and connected to spirit. So, all right, overthinking. What is this person doing? And the logical part of the mind is actually silent here. This person has a direct, by the way, look at all the stars in this. Look at these magical little sparkly stars there. Let's see if we see them with the person who is in overthinking mode. No. And I think there's even fluorescent lighting there. She's feeling terrible. And notice how she's at an office, Anyway, sorry. Anyway, what's the difference between this person and this person? The part of their brain, their thought, what's going on in their head. In their head. Also, the stars there, I think, are indicative, this sparkly stuff, are indicative of the connection to the divine here. There's no stars over there. Just very bland. Her mind is rather like, just random thoughts. It's called Lord of Shortened Force, the misuse of the mind. I want you to think about that when that part of the brain is running the show. When that part of the brain is running the show, and by the way, we now know that there is something about the need. Well, let me just put it very simply. Women, it's scientifically proven, one anatomical difference between women's brains and men's brains is that this strip of axons and nerves, there's 200 million axons in these very sensitive little nerves that connect the right and the left hemisphere of that woman's brain, is larger than a man's. Now, so why am I saying this? I'm saying this because the connection between the right and the left hemispheres is associated with what happens when somebody is using their intuition, okay, and meditating, or the gamma, the mind is calm, and it's easy to concentrate. There's no stress or worry that person is going through. No dread, no stress, no nothing. In fact, they're coming up with very creative ideas. This person here, because her mind is running the show, the left side of her brain is running the show. Now, that's the logical, well, actually, no, I'm in terms of where the prefrontal cortex is, it's on both hemispheres. But the point is, people who do not use their intuition, people who are not using the amygdala and the hippocampus, people who don't engage in journaling or, what's happening is they are not, for some reason, there's something about a lack of communication, or it's not even communication. There's something that happens when the left and the right hemispheres are, when that strip, that corpus callosum it's called, is in use. When the right and the left hemisphere of the brain are working together, that doesn't happen. So the logic, it's how on earth do you solve this issue? Well, here's how I would solve it. First, you surrender to the logical mind. I'm not kidding. You sit down and you say to the logical mind, all right, the logical mind will say, I need proof. You're being unrealistic. I need proof. Let's do something sensible. There's no way that such and such could happen because, statistically, blah, blah, blah. I need proof of something. Okay, I'll be back. Then, if you were, for example, to read The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale, who will give you example after example after example after example after example. And in fact, by the way, I'm going to add another book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. And I believe that one is by Dale Carnegie, where you will see example after example after example, actual historical examples of how people avoided execution during the Second World War, how the intuitive mind, how miracles are, not only are they possible, but they can be brought about by changing the mind. I'm not even going to, there's no way that I could give you an accurate version of the message in that book. Just just believe me when I tell you that if surrender to the logical mind, say the logical mind, okay, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to agree with you that if we are not convinced, logical mind, that this can work or that this is possible, then I'll go ahead. We'll go back to worrying and stressing and dig our own grave. You win, logical mind, if we can't find evidence of it. Read those books. And the reason why you will not have any trouble, you will not have any effort believing, is that there is absolutely there will be no doubt in your mind after you read these books. It will give you empirical, solid evidence of what works and what does not, okay? I haven't done a very good job at all, of explaining the messages in those books, and that's why. So you get the idea. Say the logical mind, you're right. You're right. We need to see proof. We need evidence. Say, fine, I need evidence. The evidence you'll find it in those books. And not only that, it's incontrovertible evidence. The logical mind will now be telling you that this is what you need to do. Anyway, I'm really turning into a nag, aren't I? Yes, I am. Spirit says I'm shouting, that's the problem. Now, then, we have the death card. Don't be alarmed. Hang on, I've got to put my glasses on. I'm really interested to see the little labels. So this little box, it looks like she might be, either she's moving or clearing out a room or something. Look at her little crystals, isn't that cute? Donations here, a box. So she's either moving or, getting rid of some stuff. Broom, number 13. So this is like the death card. And there are sparkles all around her. Tidy up your life so you can make space for something better. By the way, tidy up your life doesn't mean, you're in a mess. All that's happening here, by the way, do you know the best, well, not the best, but one surefire way of clearing your chakras? Get ready. This is bizarre housework. cleaning up, cleaning out a room, and especially, I've got to follow my own advice here. So a lot of us, I bet, just think about your wherever you're residing. Is there one room that's kind of like the junk room? So for many of you, there isn't, but I tend to allow one room to build up with junk, and I've got to clean it out in the next couple of days. Remind me to do that. Because if you want to clear your chakras, tackle that room. It really does work. I don't know why. I don't know why it works. So you could be dealing with a Scorpio here. Yeah, so this is interesting. So in this deck, I just wanted to review what the point she was making here. It's almost exactly what I just said. So according to the author of this deck, what she would suggest here, what could be causing this, and I know this sounds crazy, but this is what she said. So we all have a tendency to allow things to build up. I have a room just like that, except it's 10 times worse. And it could just be trinkets, things that we didn't want to throw out. So they're building up here. You can tell here, something here really is too good to throw out because she's donating it. So, well, let me just read what Amanda has said about this. So she says, as much as you might like having so many things, they can easily become clutter if you don't do anything useful with them. And that stagnant energy can clog up every area of your life. Now, isn't that crazy? All right, so there's literally something that happens when we do that. When you actually, what's happening here is she's making physical space. And so the logical mind again would say, wait, that doesn't make any sense. I don't need to have I don't need to clear out that room to meet somebody new. That's what that's the running story that the logical mind will say. Well, that's ridiculous. I don't have to clean out that room in order to be, no. Remember, we're living in the world of the 3D, where space does matter, where energy takes up space. So don't ask me to explain this one, but somehow, literally getting rid of this stuff, there will be something new coming in here, all right? So the other thing about this card, all right, be cognizant if this is somebody that I have a friend. I hope there's no way she would get to this point in the reading. She would have already switched it off by now, so I'm just going to say it. I have a friend who is in a relationship with someone. I think she's been with him for, I don't know, probably 20 years now. They're not married. But the situation is clearly she's not happy, and that's an understatement. But she will not get out of it. There's a message in this card that, look, stop overthinking and just do it. Maybe somebody has to break up with somebody there. But there's an idea here. It's not just that somebody, a relationship may no longer be serving you. In other words, it's not meeting your needs. It's not in tune with whatever energy you're vibrating at right now. But it's also clogging up. It's taking up space. But there's one other thing. We all have to be mindful, not just about the time that we're spending, but the time that we're taking up. If we're in a connection and we know it's going nowhere, we have to be mindful and cognizant of that other person, even though if they're a total nightmare, we still have to be cognizant. That nightmare person, we are taking up that person's time. So, there is absolutely no excuse if you're reasonably certain that this is not going to work, and you're not lying to yourself over here. You're not confused, or in the Eight of Swords. Look, there's sort of an obligation here for the sake of not, at least if you don't care about wasting your own time, look at the time that the other person, the time of theirs that you're wasting by staying in it. Okay, especially, now you're going to find this very odd, what I'm about to say. Especially if that other person doesn't want you to go and they love you. And you know that you're not happy. In that situation, you absolutely have an obligation to stop wasting their time. Because it's wrong. Well, you guys know that anyway. Anyway, don't be this person that refuses to let go of somebody. Everybody's time is being wasted there. Now, all right. The other thing here is, you see what we've got here? I just want to show you something. So this woman is the same as this woman. This card is the same as this card. Here is where the death card can mean these people here are begging the Grim Reaper, no, I don't want to die, don't kill the king, I can't. People, this is an ending that everybody, has to face. There are some people that don't want to face this. Notice how the only character that is unafraid of this is the child. She's in awe, or he is in awe of the Grim Reaper. By the way, this is immortality. Somebody over here, is dreading or facing or fearing, an ending. So there's trapped in something. They're not moving. Their fear of death, or fear of an ending is not moving. The other thing that could be going on here is that somebody may have this situation. It could be a man who feels trapped in a marriage and he's unhappy and he has a passion to get out of it, but he's, letting negative thought and overthinking and anxiety stop thinking and just do it. He's, the logic, this overthinking, the logical mind has got him in a mental trap. He's damned if he does, he's damned if he doesn't. He's afraid to move forward, afraid to stay. It's what happens when the logical mind takes over. The other thing that this can be is a woman who is in a situationship where she thinks she's in a relationship and she's being led to believe that she's in some kind of a connection with someone because her person is sending her text messages and saying, are you cheating on me? In other words, that masculine is suggesting that they're in a monogamous situation when he's either married or sleeping with a whole whack of people, and she doesn't know this. What she doesn't know, so if somebody has her blindfolded so she can't see anything, this person is telling her that she's crazy. They're not sleeping with anyone when they're sleeping with half the city, or even worse, they're married. This person has gone out of their way to put her in a trap through, a whole whack of ways. So, you have no idea what a position of power you're in here if you end things, because this person is going to absolutely, be totally devastated. They're used to having you in the Eight of Swords. But anyway, you get the idea, all right? Okay. What else do we have? Show us more. We're not at the end yet. There will be a final, as you know, there's always, I know this is a long reading. Some kind of message. Wow. Whoa. Wow. Just look at this card. this always reminds me of a classy lady who has been abused by a husband who's gone to some, safe haven. Anyway, nothing is ever as hopeless as it seems. 5 of Pentacles. All right, so for many of you, there is quite a drastic change that I can see what's happening here. So for some of you, this is just, oh God, where do I go from here? What if I don't have this support? Or what if so for some of you, there's a pretty huge, whatever you're doing in order to get, some of you are actually cutting off people that helped you financially, and you're doing it because you have to. Since you've been listening for well over an hour, I'm going to share something very personal with you, because I want you to know this. So in this card, this woman, she is, I want you to look at her skirt. My hand is shaking here. This is a woman who came from this is a woman who came from riches. And in order to clean up her life, there's a possibility that what she's worried about is having nothing, and that's actually a reality here. But here's the thing. I'm going to read what Amanda said about this card first, and then I'm going to tell you this personal fact, okay, about something that I had to do this year. I'm just reading directly from her quote on this card. Where do I go from here? End of quote. The distressed woman asks, her teeth chattering as she stumbles, left ear ringing really loudly, as she stumbles through the cold winter forest. If she would only stop to look around for a moment, she would see that only a few steps away is a safe haven that would be happy to keep her warm until the snow melts. You too may be in a similar state of despair, convinced that you've completely run out of options. It's almost as if you've accepted the fact that things will never improve for you, but that's just not the case. The fact of the matter is that there's plenty of support available to get you through whatever loss or hardship you're facing. All you need to do is turn around and walk toward it. Now that support could be a food bank. This woman has never gone to a food bank. Let me continue to read what Amanda said here. A helping hand may have been offered, but you're reluctant to take it, even though you desperately need it. Don't let pride get in the way now. This is the chance you've been waiting for, the one that will finally get you back on your feet. I had to, for the first time in my life, visit a food bank this year. I won't go into the details about why, but here's the thing. I actually felt good about it because there was a reason why. I was doing something similar to this, all right? So for some of you, there is, in order to clean up your life, there are some connections that you're cutting here. And there are ramifications to cutting the connections financially. But this is temporary, okay? And you'll actually feel really good about it. Believe me, good things will come of it. The people that you end up bumping into and the really cool, anyway, just let me leave it at that, okay? Don't go worrying about me, okay? Everything's fine now. But it was more of an inspiring, it made me proud of myself that I wasn't proud, and there were some really, really funny, cool people that I met who were working there, and just, anyway. And the things that they had, I couldn't believe it. They even had some really good cat food and stuff. Okay, anyway, I'm going to shut up and keep going. Show me more, please. Show me more. All right. Hopefully I'm not missing something here. Yeah. Part of the reason, so we're going back to this, if your life feels stale, explore some new scenery. Nothing is ever as hopeless. Part of the reason why that woman is not, let me just go back to what Amanda said about this card. Because what she's saying in this card is, the bottom line is you're not happy. This person is not happy where they are right now. They're not. Maybe they're walking out of a castle. Maybe they're going from riches to rags. But the bottom line is they are not happy. There is hope ahead. If what's the worst that could happen? Maybe this person won't be financially supported anymore. They're not going to starve. They may lose. It looks like she's lost about 15 pounds. And she still looks very classy and cool. There are people here that are really, that will become her friends. When she walks out of that place, everybody's happy. She's beginning to see, wow, everything that I need is, I always somehow, some way, I get what I need. And what she got there was absolutely free. I just want to go back to this card for one moment, because the one thing that could be holding this person back is they're very worried about finances, and they're worried that they won't be safe, that they won't be stable. They will be. And they will have gained some friends, and the strength that this person will now, the confidence that they will now feel that they don't need whatever was back there. That's one of the things that Susan Jeffers, in her book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. This is exactly what she deals with here. And she gives actual examples of when she and her husband divorced. She was so afraid that it wasn't just a fear of being alone, but a fear of, she had gotten used to all the things that he did. And she tells this really cool story in the book about a small, simple thing about when she fixed her vacuum on her own and actually really fixed it. It was this small victory, and so, you'll love that book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. This is what she deals with. She erases all the fears. And by the way, I'm not saying that this is the worst that could happen. This is very unlikely. But even if it does happen, it's you lose, you win, you win, you win. All right? It's okay to go. It's okay to go. And maybe one of the messages in this card, look back and realize, look, I gave it a shot. Did you put your best foot forward? Did you try to make it work? Well, that's all you can do. If for some of you, this is just a fear that you won't be happy. But right here, this person is not happy. So the way to look at that, and by the way, this is how Jeffers gets rid of all your fear in the book. She basically breaks it. She literally will guide you through. If you were to sit down and write out your worst fear, and literally, it's like a vacuum that sucks up fear. It's all good. She reaches every little corner and scours it all out. Show me more, please. Show me more. Part of what I was going to say is you've already dealt with it. You've already dealt with not being happy. Wow. So I think this is the end of the reading. You're not going to believe this. First of all, this is what's happening in the very near future. It's the Three of Wands. It's the Three of Wands. And what this is saying, what Spirit is saying here is, it's going to be, this is not, maybe in all likelihood you'll be, this is you will be in one way or another. So this is either career or love. In one way or another, you can't lose. Put yourself out there and you'll be rewarded in one way or another. All right? In other words, you cannot. This is a win. These are the fruits of your labor waiting around the corner. And what's coming in? It's a reward. The Three of Wands is a reward for past efforts. So for everything the effort that you put into everything in the past, if you think that, that it was a waste, it was not, because this is how, I'm surprised we didn't see the Justice card, but this is how. The reason why you're being rewarded is because of past efforts. So in one way or another, notice that the Justice card balances everything out. I saw it I was doing live readings last night. Where did I see it in somebody's reading? Was it a relationship reading? Hang on, I got to remember what this was. It was a Sag dealing with a Sag. I remember her, okay? She was a third deacon Sag asking, hopefully she's listening, asking about a first deacon Sag. And what happened was, they were already in no contact, and she was already getting used to it, balancing herself, finding equanimity. I could tell she was very calm, but wanting to know what's going on with him. And when I saw what was going on with him, he was all out of fear. He was in the Nine of Swords, and he hadn't told her that he loved her, and he thought the bottom line was he was afraid that he wasn't good enough and that he'd be constantly jealous, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, he had her in the Eight of Swords and then in the Seven of Cups, and then she eventually let go and went into the card of equanimity. But what happened by the way, the reading would suggest that he's going to come right back with whatever it was to offer her. But what she was being rewarded with, in the Three of Wands, there was an Ace of Pentacles coming in. And when I asked what it was, the Justice card came out. What that means is it's a rebalancing. In other words, for all the effort that she put into a relationship, because she was open and was honest with her feelings and was genuinely ready to give her entire cup, even though the reading also suggested that part of the reason why he didn't want to commit to her was because he could see big things in her future. He was quite a bit older than she was, and he thought that she was, making this major decision. Basically, he thought that it was unfair that he would be stealing and robbing, if he allowed her to commit to him. But that's fine, but he should have told her the bloody truth. It's all very noble to feel like that, but he should have told her the truth. But anyway, the reading suggested that there was something coming in terms of career, money, material opportunity, something big. But it was when I asked it didn't appear. The Sag, first deacon Sag is coming back anyway, but it wasn't. It was you get the idea. The universe will even everything out. The Justice card says, well, it's all going to be made fair in the end, because even though you think that was a waste of time, you think that was a failed relationship, that's not the way Spirit looks at it. Remember what I always say about the purple curtain behind the lady in the Justice card. Here's how the universe works out. It doesn't matter what you were putting your effort into. What matters is the energy and the intentions that you had. Did you have good intentions? Were you unconditionally loving? Were you straight up? Did you you certainly wouldn't keep someone trapped in the Eight of Swords. Were you honest about your feelings? Did you give it your best shot? Did you have genuine, were your intentions generally genuine and good? And were you always cognizant that, of the fairness to the other person? I'm guessing you guys were overly that way, right? So what happens is, sometimes those relationships, something terribly unfair happens, something is terribly one-sided, and Aquarius walks away thinking, my God, how can people behave like that, without realizing what's coming in for them is there is something. Here's how the universe will adjust this one way or another. So what will happen is you're going to get rewarded for past efforts and then some. So you have to trust that all of this balances out. All of it balances out. So let me put this to you. Think back on all the suffering that you've been through. If you've been through a lot of suffering at the hands of others, get ready. Because it is literal. The karmic curtain, you've racked up an enormous amount of credit. Some of you could be winning the lottery. I saw that in one of the collective readings. Actually, it keeps coming up. But you get the idea. Why is this happening? It's the justice card. Everything's getting evened out. So if you've been mostly suffering at the hands of others, baby, you're sitting pretty. And that's what's happening right there. And it's coming, it's right there. It's coming around the corner very, very soon. So she just has this cute little paragraph, and I'll read it to you. So this is Amanda Lovelace, who made the Cozy Witch Tarot deck. So this woman is saying, oh my goodness, is this really happening? Actually, she says, oh my goddess, is this really happening? The woman shrieks, clutching her long-awaited acceptance letter to her chest. She almost didn't apply at all, thinking they'd reject her without reading a single word. But at the very last minute, she decided to put herself out there, and it went the best way possible. Now, we all know that this doesn't always happen, but if you pulled this card, then it likely will for you. Expect to see the outcome of a big chance you took recently. Perhaps it will even come in the form of a letter, an email, a package, or some other type of fancy and official correspondence. It's time to get excited. Now then, one way or another, something amazing is about to happen. Is there anything else? I will get one last, just in case. Is there anything else, please? Don't overthink. Stop overthinking and just do it. For some of you, this could be an application. It's something online. All right? Literally, just do it. It could be an email. Wow. All right, so just a second now. Somebody is still stressing there. So we've got the Empress. There is beauty to be found in every experience. Why? Let's just keep going. I'm trying to figure out why we're still seeing the Eight of Swords. Just a minute. This is important. Give me a moment. Wow. So I've just consulted with what Amanda Lovelace had written. This is an interesting take on the Empress. So what she's trying to say here with the Empress is there is something that part of what causes this, all right, these worries, these thoughts, this overthinking. This is negative thought. It's expanding on negative thought, and it's expanding on insecurities and fear. Do you know where some of this came from? These are beliefs. There was some sort of deprivation when you were growing up. This is a nurturing that you required, when you were growing up. It is somebody literally may have tarnished your beliefs about the world around you. So for some of you, there is a need to nurture yourself, literally to be your own mother. Okay? Part of what part of the nurturing that this person missed was how to view every single experience. Notice it's really interesting that we're seeing a baby. That baby is probably, for those of you who are caught in this, if you have some negative beliefs about yourself, you may not even realize that that's where they come from, where they're running the show. Was it Piaget? One of the experts on child psychology, a huge expert, believed that almost all of the most important nurturing and conditioning occurs from the day the baby is born up to 3 years old. Those 3 years, we can't remember those years, but those years, he believed were the key, crucial years. So it may have been, maybe your mother was ill, maybe your mother was, who knows? Maybe your mother, it wasn't there. In any case, there is some kind of an important, and maybe your mother wasn't nurtured herself, so she was passing pain along, who knows? But something happened. Something happened, or there was some deprivation here. And so it may not even be, it's incredible. What this is suggesting is that did occur. I believe that. So anyway, you could use my trick, the baby that's there. I don't believe that the affirmations, I am worthy, I don't believe that they work. Those ones do not work. Try this. So what I'm trying to do is to get you guys not to judge yourself and realize that you're worthy, because if you can repeat I'm worthy 1,000,000 times a day, it's not going to work. Okay? Because the belief is that anyway, just let me suggest something that will. So I'm going to ask you a few yes and no questions right now, and I want you in your mind, or out loud, answer yes or no. Somewhere right now as you're listening to this reading, a baby is being born. Now that child, is coming into the world. It's a soul. It's a person, and that soul is going to be scared and cold and hungry, and but the soul shows up. It's like a being knocking at the door. I'm here. Is anyone happy that I'm here? I'm here. Want to play together? Want to interact? That's all that is. It's an innocent soul. Now, here's the bad news. That baby's mother wasn't shown very much love, and she doesn't have any love to give. She's obsessed with her own problems. So what's on her mind right now is some guy. So she just wants to have this baby. She's already dreading it. She doesn't want to hold it. She's concerned about when she's gonna see her boyfriend again. She doesn't have any desire whatsoever, no interest whatsoever, even to hold the baby. She's already is really pissed off. Maybe she's got some news that the baby has a problem, like some kind of a little deformity or something, and so now she doesn't want the baby. Now let me ask you a few yes and no questions. Does that baby deserve to be fed? Yes or no? Does that baby deserve to have a little cuddle and to have some comfort? Yes or no? Does that baby deserve to have some company, to know it's not alone, and that somebody is happy, that they're here? Yes or no? I'm pretty sure that you said yes to all those questions. Let me ask you a few more. Would you like that baby to to be met with welcoming? When that baby knocks on somebody's door and says, "Hey, would you like to buy a whatever?" How would you react now to that child? You'd be very warm, I'm sure. Sure, and I'll play something with you. I'd spend some time with you. Does that baby deserve to feel like it's part, like somebody is glad that it's here? Yes or no? Would you like that child to grow up and to find a partner that treats them well, as opposed to someone who, punches them or kicks them or cheats on them or just doesn't appreciate any of their talents, calls them a weirdo? Does that baby deserve to have a comforting, loving partner? Yes or no? Does that baby deserve to be happy in their life? Yes or no? Do you want that person, that soul, to be happy? Yes or no? Excellent. That baby is you. It's just what I'm saying is, you wanted the world for that little baby. In some part of that monologue, you really, and you're sure there's no question that baby deserves love and deserves. Well, then why don't you? You see? So, now you see how I handled your logical mind there? I'm learning. See, now I think that's the reason why here it's funny, because here we're using logic to override the subconscious. Jeez, you guys are brilliant, realize this. All right, so is there anything else? There's so much substance to these readings. Okay, there's 3 coming out. Good Lord. Wow. Okay. So over here is the mothering that you're going to give yourself. Okay. Over here is the 9 of Cups, which is to enjoy, look at this, live in a constant state of gratitude. Look, and there's a dog there and she looks really happy. She's grateful for everything. She's also free. Over here, we have 3 people. Just incredible. Look at this. Remember I said that the child might have a deformity? You did welcome that. This just goes to show these people are not related. They're not family, but they have something in common. That's you and me. This is us doing our tarot there. They're actually reading tarot cards. Come together with your coven. By the way, guys, I believe this is us. This is the soul family here. They're not related. They don't have to be. Isn't that incredible? I have to see what the author wrote about this. I can't wait to see this. Just give me 1 second. Honestly, this is how I feel about you guys and what's happened in my life. I actually had a nightmare the other night, and it was about me in my former profession, and I was missing this deadline, and somebody was angry with me, and it was a nightmare, but it was true to reality, to how I used to, this incredible rat race, that I used to be part of. I was desperately unhappy, and when I woke up, I was like, oh, thank God, it was just a dream. Now, over here, just listen to this. This woman's life has changed drastically, but she doesn't realize how lucky she is here's her soul group. And I feel like this is me and you guys. Just listen to this with the 9 of Cups. Sure. And by the way, every main character in here is a witch. It's, you get the idea. So when Amanda Lovelace says this witch, it's because every character in this, it's the Cozy Witch Tarot deck, okay? Sure, this witch may not have the typical home, but they do have a van and all the material items they could ever need. They may not have a steady 9 to 5, but they do have a freelance job they love. They may not have a backyard, but they do have the ability to drive anywhere and find a new one every morning. I'm so incredibly grateful that this is the life I get to live, the witch says, contentedly sipping their coffee. This card asks you to express gratitude for how far you've made it, because even if you don't realize it, it's a long way, my witch friend. Perhaps you're still waiting for some wishes to come true, which they will, by the way, but you're still surrounded by so many self-made blessings, and you only have more to look forward to. In addition to that, have a look at who she's come together with. She's not related to any of these people, but they're all, the 3 coven mates spend their Friday night at a local seaside diner where they celebrate their mutual magical achievements, share good food and drink, and pull some tarot cards for each other. I'm not kidding. I don't know about you, but that sounds like an excellent evening to me. This card is the most important sentence. This card indicates the presence of a tight-knit group of people that loves, supports, and uplifts one another. By the way, she says it's usually 3 individuals or more. That's your soul family there. Wow. And perhaps, by the way, that part of that nurturing over there is coming from the soul family. I feel like the part of the mothering that you're giving to yourself over here is highly, expedited by this soul family. Aquarius, I have enjoyed this reading. You would not believe if you have made it to this mark, let me think of a secret word I'm going to get you to type in. If you've actually made it to the end of this reading, I want you to type in, let's see, I got to think about this because it's got to be something that other people won't get somewhere in the comment that you make, somewhere in the sentence, I want you to embed the following word. Put coven somewhere. So you could put it, you could disguise it anywhere. By the way, I'm glad our coven came together. Something like that, okay? Just put the word coven in it. And don't make it obvious because I just want to see how many people actually get to the end of this reading. And thank you if you did. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. I really love you and appreciate you. Thank you.